Like if you found the video valuable. The crime scene was quiet, eerily so. Detective Alan Harris stood in the dimly lit parlor of the old Whitmore estate, his gloved hand hovering above the single, unusual item left at the center of the carpet. A key, delicate and translucent, crafted entirely out of glass. No broken windows, no signs of forced entry, no fingerprints, just the body of Martin Whitmore, local historian, reclined lifeless in his armchair, and that strange key placed neatly at his feet. Harris crouched down, examining it carefully. A key that could shatter with the lightest pressure, he thought. What lock could this possibly open? He muttered aloud. His partner, Detective Laura Briggs, shook her head. None that I know of. Maybe it's symbolic. But Harris wasn't convinced. The autopsy revealed Whitmore had been poisoned, slow-acting, precise, deliberate. Whoever killed him had taken their time, ensuring his death would look natural. But the glass key? That was something else. Digging into Whitmore's past, Harris uncovered his reputation as a man obsessed with local history, particularly unsolved disappearances from the 1950s. 4 people had vanished within the town's borders back then, never to be seen again. Whitmore had been compiling notes, records, and theories. The day he died, he'd been working late in his study, piecing together one last chapter. The detectives searched his papers. Whitmore's final notes ended mid-sentence. The glass key is not for a door. 2 nights later, Harris returned to the estate. Something about the phrasing gnawed at him. If the key wasn't meant for a lock, what was it for? The answer came when he noticed the glass cabinets in Whitmore's study. One had a strange slot carved along the side, almost invisible unless the light hit it just right. Tentatively, Harris slid the glass key into place. The cabinet creaked open. Inside was a leather-bound journal, its pages fragile with age. Each entry described the 4 missing townsfolk from the 1950s. But it wasn't just a record, it was a confession. Martin Whitmore's grandfather had orchestrated the disappearances, luring his victims into the woods with promises of work, then burying them near an abandoned quarry. The journal even included hand-drawn maps of where the bodies had been hidden. Briggs skimmed through the pages, wide-eyed. This could solve 4 cold cases at once. But Harris frowned. If Martin found this, someone else must have known he was close. Someone who wanted it kept secret. The breakthrough came when forensics traced the poison used on Whitmore. It was rare, derived from belladonna, and had been recently purchased by one person in town, Drive. Evelyn Marsh, the town's beloved physician. When brought in for questioning, Marsh remained composed, almost too composed. Martin was going to ruin everything, she said flatly. My father's name, my family's reputation. Why should the sins of the past condemn us all? Because the truth doesn't vanish, Harris said. No matter how deep you bury it. She smiled bitterly. And yet you would never have known, if not for that foolish key. Her words hung in the air, sealing her guilt. In court, the journal and the glass key became the centerpiece of the case. Marsh was convicted not only for Whitmore's murder but for obstructing justice in the decades-old disappearances. When the trial ended, Harris held the glass key one last time. Its fragile weight pressed into his palm. It hadn't opened a door, not in the literal sense. It had opened a secret buried in shadows for more than half a century. He placed it back into evidence storage, whispering to himself, some keys don't unlock rooms. They unlock truths.